What's up, guys? Today we're talking about Sirāt, directed by Oliver Laxe and co-written by Laxe and Santiago Fillol. Sergi López plays Luis, a man who, along with his son and some newly befriended ravers, searches the deserts of Morocco for his missing daughter. Before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and drop a spoiler warning, so now's your time to pause this video, go watch Sirāt, and then come back and let me tell you how to feel about it. Now, let's dance. Man, oh man, Sirāt is a gut punch. I only knew the logline going in. From the press cycle and folks on the internet, I knew it was a desert thriller with killer sound design. And if there's one thing about me, it's that I love a movie with crispy sound design. As the credits rolled, Sirāt left me more shaken than any movie in recent memory. I'm talking I was in an existential panic, and still kind of am as I write this. There is something so deeply alluring about this film. Laxe's command of filmmaking keeps you locked in for Sirāt's wild ride, notable because its premise is pretty simple. Distraught yet determined father Luis, Sergi López, putting in a tremendously moving performance, searches the Moroccan desert for his raver daughter who's been missing for 5 months. His son, Esteban, Bruno, Núñez, Arjona, equally moving and a terrific child performer, and their dog Pipa stumble upon a band of ravers in hopes that they may be able to help Luis locate his daughter. The film frames this sequence with such dark subtlety that I felt for certain these ravers had Luis's daughter's body wrapped up in a blanket somewhere out in the desert. The movie you think you're watching is definitely not the movie you're watching. The way cinematographer Mauro Hersi weaves the film's visual style into the trancy, dark, ambient score from musician Kangding Ray is masterful. When I say the opening 15 to 20 minutes where it's mostly ravers setting up amps and speakers with the music glaring outward into this gorgeous canyon is so startlingly beautiful, sheer spectacle, that laser show. That I started crying multiple times, believe it. There is something ineffable about this movie. Laxe capturing a specific and urgent euphoric paranoia. You can watch this movie completely sober and still feel like you're hallucinating. Some masterful auxiliary dialogue heard over radios insinuates that World War III has begun, amplifying the already palpable paranoia. But this group is focused on their here and now. There's a marked tension between Luis and the ravers at first, but eventually they soften. Just when you think they're leaving him in the lurch, they come back around the corner with some act of goodwill. Sergi López is masterful in these moments, especially against Jade Oukid as Jade, her face magnetic, her presence calming, trying to understand a culture that seems so foreign to him. In one of my favorite scenes, Jade is fixing an old speaker, admiring its warped and muffled audio quality, just as Luis has offered her a chocolate bar, due to Esteban's scolding persistence that they share their resources. This scene is integral to the movie as it captures the theme of brokenness that Laxe seems fixated on. Every single person in this group has experienced tragedy, whether physical or metaphysical. Biggie lost his hand, Tonin his leg, and once Pipa eventually eats some LSD-laced caca, they make it clear this has happened before, and people will survive. That Jade embraces the broken quality of the speaker, asserting it's not for listeners, it's for dancing, allows a moment for Luis to imprint on her his daughter's memory, but also explores the ephemeral idea that shared connection and found family are integral to human experience and survival. Laxe clearly has an affinity for the raver lifestyle, and the ways in which broken people can connect with those like-minded and earnestly seeking meaning and purpose within a community. Like real life, tragedy quickly and quietly strikes. Esteban plays with Pipa in the van and suddenly begins to roll backward, Luis screaming for Esteban to hit the handbrake. There is a stark and urgent brutality in Laxe's filmmaking style as he presents this tragedy at a perfectly random moment. But just before this, we felt sheer bliss that they'd unlodged their truck from the sand. Alas, Esteban is crushed below, leaving Luis utterly distraught. From here, Laxe challenges the audience to continue sitting through tragedy after tragedy. And while the paranoia from the intro carries through, it's now the audience sitting with Luis and the ravers in real time as they grapple with them having lost not just one, but 2 children and a dog. The film from here on is a tough go, but ultimately worth it for its anti-resolution. The ravers seem lost, and I got the impression they weren't ever heading to a specific location, but didn't clue Luis into that. The way Luis wakes up curled up between the others is heartbreaking, especially when he nuzzles back in to forget the nightmare of his real life. He's lost one entire family, but somehow gained another. Blanketed by their music in the desert sun, he shares their tea and begins to trip, and you can see the trauma oozing off his body as he allows himself to feel. Then, just just as Jade is ramping up, the sound mix explodes just as she does.
They're in a goddamn active minefield.
This part was heart-pounding, and basically half their crew doesn't make it. Luis buries them. Poor Luis. They sacrifice their vehicles to test for more mines until Luis, with nothing left to lose, ventures forward and miraculously survives. Biggie follows the same path but is blown up. Josh and Steph follow with their dog, but they close their eyes and survive, giving Luis this kind of godly quality, this surreal power. Lace Marches kicks in as they walk through the mountains, and this scene cross-dissolves into a close-up of a speaker as if they are entering the music itself, entering a new post-world. They survive and board a train towards somewhere. But given all the tragedy they've experienced, what if it's just the fallout as their train heads for another falling bomb? Sirāt is a gorgeous, lush movie that is equal parts Mad Max Fury Road and Gaspar Noé's climax. The sound textures will wrap you up in its hypnotic spell, warping your vision as the ravers' trucks cross the desert. Laxe's vision is massive, adventurous, and rapturous, colorful, and dire. There's something alive in the DNA of Sirāt, and Laxe imbues it with this frighteningly human quality. For something that is so disruptive and disastrous and upsetting, the film is remarkable at making you feel comfortable in its mystery. The casting may be the secret sauce to the movie, as each character is stunning to look at. Just every face is unique and memorable, and you immediately feel like you've known these characters your entire life, even when they don't say much during the movie's runtime. The film's alive feeling could not have been captured without the magnificent score from Kang Dean Ray. Seriously, I cannot stop listening to this score. Their music is crucial to the movie's storytelling. It would not work the way it does without that, aided greatly by the tremendous work from their sound design team. Sirāt is a reminder of a world that's not to come. It's here. When faced with tragedy and the end times, the only real human reaction may be just to put your head inside a speaker and tune out. As I watched the ravers dance in the beginning, I was drawn in like a bear to a windowsill with pie. Laxe knows that human drive to connect and feel a part of something, to be together in a time that feels as broken as we feel as individuals. Sirāt promises a wild ride and a lot of mystery, but it doesn't care to answer the questions that you may have. It's a vibrational frequency that must be felt to be truly experienced. If you can open yourself up to its nightmarish lullaby and be okay with its anti-resolution, you may find a movie that moves you beyond recognition, reveling in the human urgency to commune before everything is utterly and finally gone. What did you think of Sirāt? Is it an overhyped bummer, or were you won over by its music, sound design, and entrancing cast of characters? Leave all the comments below, and before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time, long live Sirāt, and long live Curtis Reviews.